Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Austin Parry Show. I'm your host, Austin Parry. Thanks for joining us tonight. Tonight is Saturday, April 10th, 2021. And before we get into the news, which I have several articles printed up here, I just want to say, if you're watching on YouTube, please give this video a like. Please comment on this video. Let me know what you're thinking about the content. Give me some criticism. I welcome that. Please share this video. Please text or email this video to your friends and family. Please subscribe to my channel if you are watching on YouTube. And please hit the notification bell. And just so you know also, I am also backing up this video on 2 other platforms. So it's not only on YouTube, but it is also on Rumble and BitChute. And eventually I will be posting my videos onto my own website. It's not formatted for that yet. Also, my website is austinparry.org, P-A-R-R-Y. My second website is austinparryart.com. And if you're feeling generous, please give me a donation to support my content. You can do that via PayPal. My email address is austin.parry@gmail.com. And once again, that's P-A-R-R-Y. And thank you for joining us. Without further ado, let's get into the news on the Austin Parry Show, where we talk about current events, politics, culture, and news. First article we have for the day is from therap.com. Document shot. Spotify has now deleted 42 episodes of The Joe Rogan Experience. Streaming giant recently purged another 2 episodes of Rogan's popular podcast from its platform. Wow, that's really disappointing to hear, because Joe Rogan, if you know, is a very popular talk show host and also a commentator for the UFC. And his podcast on YouTube is arguably one of the most popular and influential podcasts in the whole entire world. And so he switched from his main platform being on YouTube to Spotify. He switched over to Spotify because they worked out a deal where he signed a contract with them for a certain amount of money. And so he moved to Spotify because I guess he thought that was a better path for his career. And it seems as though he is now banned. Some of his episodes are being censored on Spotify, and he's not even a very controversial guy. I mean, he has certain guests on that could be considered more controversial than others, but honestly, Joe Rogan's very moderate, very middle of the road, and so I don't know why he's being censored on his main platform, Spotify. Let's read a little bit from the article here. It's unclear why the episodes have been purged, but as DMN pointed out, one explanation for the removals is that Asprey frequently backs controversial anti-aging and scientific theories, including claims that bulletproof coffee is extremely healthy while other coffee brands are not. So I guess this is talking about a certain guest that he had on, Asprey, Dave Asprey, co-founder of Bulletproof Coffee. And so that just goes to show you, if you have on someone on your show and the mainstream media system doesn't like who you have on your show, you have the potential to be banned. And honestly, Joe Rogan is not a bad person. He's a good man, in my opinion, and I don't think that his episodes should be censored. I mean, you can argue, okay, well, that's Spotify's choice. They're a private company. He can go somewhere else. He can build his own platform. But honestly, a lot of these big tech companies have complete monopolies and complete strangleholds on the whole market share. And you can't just go out and build yourself another Google. You can't just go out and build yourself another Facebook. You can't just go out and build yourself another Spotify. I mean, there are rivals, and arguably over time, maybe you could build something comparable. But it's just really sad to see that the public square where free speech and free thought is supposed to exist is rapidly being destroyed, and online speech is not tolerated. I thought this was America. I thought we were free. I mean, is this China or what? I mean, so that was TheWrap.com. Once again, the title of this article is Spotify has now deleted 42 episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience from TheWrap.com. Moving on. Next article from CNN.com. Nearly 40% of Marines have declined the COVID-19 vaccine. And let's read a little bit of this article here. Nearly 40% of U.S. Marines are declining COVID-19 vaccinations, according to data provided to CNN on Friday by the service, the first branch to disclose wide numbers on the acceptance and declination. As of Thursday, approximately 75,500 Marines have received vaccines, including fully vaccinated and partially vaccinated servicemen and women. About 48,000 Marines have chosen to not receive vaccines, for a declination rate of 38.9%. Well, my body, my choice. Am I right or wrong on that one? I mean, I am not anti-vaccine by any means. I think vaccines can be good, and I definitely think that certain types of injections can be beneficial for people's health. But at the same time, I don't think they should be forced on anybody. I think you should have the choice. Like I said, I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm pro-vaccine choice. I think if you want to take the vaccine, you should have the ability and you should have the right to take the vaccine. But I think if you don't want to take the vaccine, then you shouldn't be forced to. It's the same thing as if the government tried to mandate that the whole population has to take a certain type of pharmaceutical pill. Everyone would reject it because no one wants to be forced to take a certain type of medicine. And if it was a pill form, people would realize, oh no, I don't want to take this. But because it's a vaccine, people just kind of skip past it in their mind and they think that they have to take the vaccine. Like I said, I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm just saying I think you should have a choice. And according to CNN.com, nearly 40% of U.S. Marines are declining the COVID-19 vaccine. So I don't think you should be forced to have to inject yourself with something, and I think that's completely fine that 40% of Marines don't want to take the vaccine. Once again, CNN.com. Moving on to the next article. Here we have from FoxNews.com. Trump flag violates Minnesota city ordinance, but business owner willing to pay fines to go to jail. I am prepared to get the fines, ultimately get cuffed, go to jail, whatever, Jay Johnson said. Wow. Document shot. So, as you can see, this is from FoxNews.com, and we have a Minnesota man who says he is willing to go to jail to keep his Trump flag up. That's how strongly he feels about it. Let's go ahead and read this article a little bit here. A Minnesota business owner says he is willing to pay a fine or even go to jail over a 50 by 30 foot Trump 2020 flag he has on his property that city officials say is violating a local ordinance. It looks small because it's 150 feet in the air, but it's a pretty big flag, Jay Johnson, who is flying the Trump flag on top of a crane at his construction business in Buffalo, Minnesota, near Minneapolis, said, according to WCCO TV in Minneapolis. Johnson said he took down the flag soon after the November election, but decided to put it up again recently. He said soon afterwards, a few of his construction vehicle windows were shot out, which the police are investigating. A store that sells Trump merchandise in the same town also reportedly had its windows shot out on the same night, but no one has been arrested. City officials in Buffalo say Johnson has also run afoul on the law because a flag as large as his must be licensed. According to WCCO, license for a flag now? Do I need a license to breathe too? Do I need a license to wipe my butt or pick my nose? A store that sells Trump merchandise in the same town also reportedly had its window shut out. Oh, I read that already. City officials in Buffalo say Johnson has also run afoul on the law because a large flag must be licensed according to WCCO. The city has reportedly gotten around 100 formal comments over the flag. Half positive, half negative. Huh. Wow. It's getting crazy, folks. I mean, why are people having their windows shut out for just expressing a political opinion? That's not right. It doesn't really bother me much. It's just weird seeing it up again, neighbor Patrick Cayenne said, according to the station. Like, are they campaigning for it again in 2024? Oh no. But none of it has deterred Johnson, who said he'll simply move the flag if he's asked to take it down, or he'll even fly a larger flag. Ooh. I'm prepared to get the fines, ultimately get cuffed, go to jail, whatever, Johnson said. He added the flag cost him $1,000 and the crane cost him about $50,000. Johnson reportedly hasn't applied for a permit for the flag, and it wasn't reported if he considered that an option. City officials will decide to take action on the flag, WCCO reported. That's from FoxNews.com. I just have a question. If people had a large anarchist flag flying, would there be stories about how city officials are talking about taking it down? Maybe there would be, because a lot of people don't like the anarchist flag, but it seems as though certain political opinions get preferential treatment and other political opinions just get spit on. And what if it was a Chinese flag? What was it? What if it was a very large Chinese flag? What if it was a very large LGBTQAIPP plus flag flying about in the wind? Would that cause as much concern, and would there be as much discussion about that flag? I don't know. But I think that he should be allowed to have his Trump flag flying high. I think people should be able to have whatever kind of flag as long as it's their own property and as long as there's not messaging on the flag inciting violence. I think people should have freedom of speech and freedom of expression. That's just my personal opinion. Anyways, things getting cray in Minnesota, folks. All right, moving on to the next article. Here we have from NBCnews.com. China forcefully harvests organs from detainees, tribunal concludes. Wow, so if you go to jail or prison in China, you might have your spleen removed unwillingly. Possibly your lungs, maybe your heart. They might just take it, folks. So that's just crazy. China's organ transplant trade is worth $1 billion a year, according to a tribunal. The story contains details some may find distressing. Yeah, that's a little distressing. The organs of members of marginalized groups detained in Chinese prison camps are being forcefully harvested, sometimes when patients are still alive. An international tribunal sitting in London has concluded. Some of the more than 1.5 million detainees in Chinese prison camps are being killed for their organs to serve a booming transplant trade that is worth some $1 billion a year, concluded the China Tribunal, an independent body tasked with investigating organ harvesting from prisoners of conscience in the authoritarian state. Forced organ harvesting has been committed for years throughout China on a significant scale. The tribunal concluded in its final judgment Monday. The practice is of unmatched wickedness on a death basis, with the killings by mass crimes committed in the last century, it added. In 2014, state media reported that China would phase out the practicing of taking organs from executed prisoners and said it would rely instead on a national organ donation system. Ha! Wow, this is just crazy. The Chinese military on foreign affairs on Tuesday was not immediately available to comment on the tribunal's findings. So they're just taking people's organs. I mean, you could say, well, they're prisoners, they did bad things, they deserve it, take their organs, why not? Well, you know, in China, they're just arresting people for making Facebook posts about saying, I don't like Xi Jinping, or saying something just mildly spicy on any kind of social media platform. If it gets flagged by the government, they'll just scoop you up in a van and take you to a prison camp where they might work you to death or close to death for about, I don't know, a year or 2 years before they just take your organs. Or if you're in good shape and they need some really good organs, they'll just pick you up in the van and just harvest those organs right away so they don't go bad after a couple years of hard labor and eating really bad prison food. So this is from NBCnews.com, folks. I mean, let's get a .cam shot on this one. NBCnews.com. I'm not making this up. I'm not fibbing. I'm telling the truth here, folks. I'm just honestly printing up articles that I find online, and I read them, I analyze them, and then I present them to you on camera. And it's really shocking, some of the information that I found, especially about China harvesting organs from detainees. Moving on to the next article. Zook unveils autonomous, fully functional taxi of the future. Now, a lot of you probably know about self-driving cars, you know about the Teslas, you know about the movies where there's all these different autonomous cars that seem to be the future for humanity. And this one looks really interesting. I'm going to show you the picture here just in a second on the .cam shot, but this vehicle that I'm going to show you, this picture, has no driver, and it has seating, bench seating on both sides, so you get into it and you sit on the bench seating looking at each other, kind of similar to how, like, if you go skiing and you get into one of those cable cars going to the top, something like that. But anyways, this is what it looks like. You see the 4 cameras all around the vehicle, which is the eyes for autonomous mode. And the self-driving vehicles are pretty much here. They've been using them in the military for a long time. A lot of different countries already have autonomous vehicles on the roadways. Certain urban centers like New York City and LA have plans to have large fleets of autonomous taxis to shuttle people around the town. And let's read a little bit here. It can operate for 16 hours straight on a single charge without the need for a driver. After getting acquired by Amazon in the middle of the year, Zook unveils its first fully functional electric autonomous vehicle. The company, which is an independent subsidiary under Amazon Inc., said that this driverless taxi is designed for dense and urban environments. According to the release, Zook was founded in 2014 and used a combination of artificial intelligence, robotics, vehicle design, and sustainable energy to reinvent personal transportation. They envision a safer, cleaner, and more enjoyable future for everyone. Oh, that's so nice. Well, you might say, well, autonomous travel is the future, which you may be partially true. You may be partially right on that. I can definitely see airplanes being fully autonomous, which they pretty much already are. The autopilot mode, there is a pilot in the cockpit just in case, but you know about the Predator drones, you know about the Reaper drones, which are fully autonomous. And pretty soon I can see how they would want to make all of the roadways pretty much 100% autonomous cars. And that scares me for a couple reasons. The first reason being that you don't have control over the vehicle, and if someone wanted to hack into the computer system of the vehicle and wreck your vehicle into an oak tree or into a light post going 50, 60 miles an hour and kill you, they could very easily do that. And then they would just blame it on a glitch. They would say, "Oh, we don't know what happened." I could be wrong, but wasn't it during the Obama administration when there was it was either a Predator drone or one of those drones, and it did a missile attack on some Middle Eastern location where there were civilians who were killed and even children who were killed during that attack. And then they say it was a glitch in the system, and the drone just randomly fired a missile killing civilians, and no one could figure it out why it happened. Oh, glitch in the system. Oh, just write it off. Oh, sweep it under the rug. No big deal. I don't have that article with me. That's something that I remember from a while ago learning about that one. Maybe I'll find that for a future video to talk to you about it. But there you go. Fully autonomous taxis are in the near future. Here's a little glimpse of what they may look like. Moving on to the next article. This one's a doozy. China debuts Anbot, the police robot. Wow. Let me just give you a dot cam shot of this one so you can just see how this robot looks. It looks like a large, heavy, standing egg that rolls around and shocks people. Yeah, shocks people. It has a taser, and it uses it autonomously. On April 21st, at the 12th Chaiqing High-Tech Fair, the National Defense University, a hotbed of Chinese military innovations, debuted the world's first armed, albeit less than lethal, police robot. Less than lethal. They have to add that little caveat there. They could easily just put guns on any autonomous robot. The little DARPA dogs, they can just strap a fully automatic rifle on that very easily. The Ministry of Public Security was very excited about Anbot, a People's Daily Extols. As People's Daily Extols, Anbot is able to patrol autonomously and protect against violence or unrest. Oh, there's a really good shot of the Anbot. Goes around shocking people with its little taser. Let's get a dot cam shot on that one. There you go. Check out that thing. What is it, like 5-6 feet tall? Imagine that thing rolling up on you with its taser out. Comply, comply, citizen. Zzz. Whew. The Anbot has cameras and audio recorders located at the front, sides, and back of its midsection. The video screen on top allows the Anbot to communicate with civilians, criminals, and police officers, while the slot above the front camera may house its electricity stun weaponry. Stun weaponry. The 1.5 meter tall, 78 kilogram Anbot looks like a cross between Star Wars R2-D2 and Doctor Who's Daleks, with a touch screen on top. It has enough battery power for 8 hours of operations, autonomous navigation, and intelligent video analysis, and can reach speeds of 18 kilometers an hour to chase down fleeing criminals or respond to emergencies. I did not know that part. Wow. It literally goes 18 kilometers an hour. That's kind of scary. It's like a big rolling metal egg. Imagine that thing just like zoom running up on you real fast. Like, can't even roundhouse kick that thing. You'll just break your foot. Like, what the heck? You need something else. Anyways, the Anbot can also rush over to a scene if a bystander cries for help, and can even recharge itself without human intervention. Skynet's basically here, folks. Bad news in the event of a robot uprising, you don't say. NDU promises that in addition to standard policing patrolling, the Anbot can undertake riot control by remotely firing its electroshock weapons or by running over unruly protesters. Wow. This thing is just like a frickin' football lineman that will just tackle you. It'll just come up at you. It'll just zoom up on you 18 kilometers an hour. Boom! Big old metal egg. Just knock you over. And then as you're on the ground, like, and then it gives you the little shock. South Korea's RoboGuard, intended to patrol prisons and identify troublemakers in the act, is a telepresence tool, like the Anbot, to provide official presence while removing prison guards from monotonous and dangerous patrols. But unlike the Anbot, the RoboGuard isn't armed. Oh, well, that's good. Like I said, they could just strap a gun on it real quick, real easy. Here's a picture of this RoboGuard, the Korean version. Look at that. Tell me that's not dystopian and Orwellian. Anbot's controversial feature is naturally the onboard electrically charged riot control tool. Fancy name. Likely a taser or extendable cattle prod. Extendable cattle prod, wow. This can only be fired by the Anbot's human remote operators. Yeah, sure. It seems that just like the US military, Chinese policemen do not yet feel comfortable giving armed robots the autonomous capability to fire their weapons. The Anbot's larger size means that it has room to mount other law enforcement gear, like tear gas canisters and other less lethal weaponry. I mean, the Terminators are here, folks. I mean, wow. I just showed you the article. I mean, there's really no refuting that. I mean, they have the police robot in China already. Soon to be in your neighborhood, probably. I hope not, though. And what source is this from? You know what? It didn't print out the headers or footers on this one. Oh, here we go. By Jeffrey Lynn and P.W. Singer, April 27, 2016. This article is from 2016. Not sure if you can see that or not. The date is right there. This is from 5 years ago. This isn't from yesterday. This article isn't from this week. This article was written 5 years ago, is when they debuted the Anbot, the world's first police robot, publicly known about. So that's pretty mind-blowing, wouldn't you say? Very interesting information. That's my last article for the day. So I'm going to go ahead and close it out. I wanted to say thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you for supporting my vision. I love you all very much. That's the Austin Parry Show. I'm your host, Austin Parry. This is where we talk about current events, politics, culture, and news. I will be having guests on future episodes. I am lining up several guests, actually. I'm in the works. I've been talking to people. I have some very interesting personalities coming on the show to talk about different things. Look forward, keep your eye out and look for that. Once again, if you are watching on YouTube, please like this video. Please comment on this video. Let me know what you think about the news that I just talked about. Please give me some criticism about the show. I very much welcome that. Please share this video. Please text message this video or email this video to your friends and family. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit the notification bell and please subscribe to my channel, Austin Parry Show. And if you want, you can visit my website, austinparry.org. That's P-A-R-R-Y. Or you can visit my second website, which is austinparryart.com. Those websites are in a constant state of evolution. I will eventually have merchandise up for sale. I'm also an artist. I do paintings and illustrations, and those will be for sale on my website as well. And if you would like to support me even further, leave me a donation. I'm just a regular working class, middle class man just making videos for the internet and just trying to give you guys some information that you might find interesting. And so, I don't have a very large budget. I'm not taking payouts from the government. So you can leave me a donation if you want via PayPal. My email address for that is austin.parry@gmail.com. That's P-A-R-R-Y. And that concludes this episode, which was episode 4 of the Austin Parry Show on today, which is Saturday, April 10th, 2021. Thank you so much for joining me. And tomorrow's episode will be posted probably around midday, so keep an eye out for that. And everyone have a very blessed day. Peace and love. Goodbye.